morning, guys. I am sorry I have not posted in quite a while. I've been on a wild ride with thrips again. And this time I went down and I bought some other stuff that's a little bit stronger, has a couple different chemicals in it, because from what I've read, the thrips can eventually become resistant to certain chemicals if you repeatedly use them, and you're supposed to alternate. Anyway, this treatment required two to three treatments, 7 to 14 days apart. And that meant washing every single plant I have. The first time it took me longer because I had modified my plant stands in my sun porch so they didn't all roll out. And so I had to make that change after that go round. Second time, that took me 3 days the first time around to get them all washed. The second time around, it only took me a long day and a long half of a day to get them all washed, because I could roll the plant stands to the bathroom and, put the pots right there into the tub, rinse them off or spray them down, let them dry with the fan on them for a couple hours, put them back on the plant stands and roll them back. And in the meantime, I could be lining up a lot of hanging plants and whatnot that don't roll on the plant stands. So anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. At this point, I just finished my second spraying down. I'm not sure I need to do a third. I only saw a couple thrips again, but there was some thrip damage on several plants, and I have, Suzette gave me the idea to isolate those particular plants in the other room, which I have done. And so that when I do a third go round, I will probably just do them the third time around, because honestly, moving all these plants around almost damages them more than the thrips, because it's a lot of work and it's a lot of shuffling and in and out, and I've broken a couple things and it makes me mad. So, but this video is about where are they now, and I'm tried to find an editing program that would let me insert photos, and I know a lot of people can do that, but I can't figure it out. I couldn't do it. I don't have the time or the patience to deal with it. So I'm going to add the pictures of when I got them from our plant trade back in September of last year. And then I will run the video and reinsert those pictures one by one so that you can go back and look. And I will also put the link to the video of when I got these plants from Suzette, what they looked like then. So I'm going to try to not have to walk you around too much. I gathered a few plants here on my plant table in my sun porch, and some of the plants are in the sun porch. Some of them are in the living room, some are in the back bathroom. Okay, so first of all, I have the Brandy Atom, and she's doing quite well. I did do a trade for, I don't even remember now what, on Reddit, and got another couple bigger brandy leaves, and this is just a paint stick, one of the 5-gallon bucket ones, so it's taller. And I had it on moss to begin with, but it wasn't growing into the moss either, so I just put it back up on this stick. I needed a taller stick, and I needed to move it. So this is her now, a year later. I believe this was the initial cutting. And I have one more little small piece that got broken off in the thrips ordeal, and I have that rerooting again. This is the poor Antherium Tweed, and let me move it away from the other plants so that it shows up a little bit better. That thing, she sent me 4 stems. 2 of them were rooted and 2 of them weren't. The 2 that were not rooted never did root. They just rotted. And the other 2 stems, as you can kind of see, they sat bare for most of the time that I've had them. And I've almost thrown them away so many times. And then this spring I saw, some little tiny buds on the stem I don't know if they're showing now. There's one kind of at that lower one. Anyway, I thought, okay, it's not that big of a pot. It's just in one of these dollar store cups with drainage in the bottom. I can't tip it up without dumping it, but I'll just stick it in the plant stand and keep it. And I have it in a south window. It's in the highest light I have available for it. I even run grow lights. And this is what I have so far. This is the first leaf that it's putting out that is supposed to look like, or what the plant is supposed to look like. And it vines around. And Suzette of Suzettes Gardens just did a video on this, on her mother plant of this, and it is gorgeous, but I don't know. She said every winter it kind of poops out on her too. So there's another one. And then the Ripsalis, Bassifera, whatever, we're not really sure. Let me pull that out too. It's doing pretty well. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at the picture of when I got it. It wasn't a tiny cutting, but I think it's doing really well. I like it. I like it. It's kind of neat looking. And the poor Mexicanum. Boy, this poor plant has had a go-round. It's doing really pretty good right now. It came in the box. The box, it looked like they'd played football with it. Let me see if I can pull it out away from the other plants there. It looks like they played football with it in shipping. And this is the main stem of the plant. It was quite long. And I didn't see it when I unboxed the plant, the cutting, and it had roots on it. Once I went to pot it up, this stem was actually broken all the way through. And so I broke it off, rerooted it. I don't know, there's a second cutting in here. Anyway, this is it now. And I think that's a second cutting. I'm not sure. If it isn't a second cutting, I have a second cutting of it rooting now that, oh, I know, I remember now. Okay, the plant, this came broken. I had to reroot it. And then when I repotted it, the plant lost all its roots. I pulled it out of the pot and there were no roots on it, on the bare stem. It wasn't doing well enough. So I thought, I need to check the roots. And there were none. So I had to reroot the whole thing again, and that's kind of why it's struggling, although I think it's doing really good now, considering all it's been through. The leaves are getting a little bit bigger. They're a little bit greener. There's some thrips damage. You can kind of see it. See through the... See that lighter right in here? That's it. I don't know. It's hard to show... I can see it pretty well in person if you hold the thing up to the light, but you have to just look real close. Right in here is thrips damage, so I do keep it in the other room. Even though it's been sprayed, I keep seeing little spots on things, but I think in the spraying process, when I hang plants above the other ones that are sitting down in the tub, it splashes potting soil all over. Okay, now let's see. There is the Adansonii wide leaf, and there it is. It is mixed in with my plant that I had of it. I don't know if I can move that over or not. I had some, but it was really, really struggling. And so some of this is from Suzette, some of this is from my own. But I would say that the majority of it is from Suzette's cutting. It's gone wild. I recently changed the support system for it into little free wood planks that I get down in Weiser, and from a lumber mill. They're offcuts, I guess. Anyway, it seems to be liking that and doing real. I'm not sure that it's attaching to it. Maybe. I don't know. I just did it a couple weeks ago, or maybe a month ago. I don't know. So I think it's doing pretty well. Let's see. Here is the lemon lime that she sent. And later she sent a second cutting of it. So they're both in there. And I think it's doing really, really well. And I'm looking around to see if there's anything else in here. I don't think so. This is one. Yikes. Sorry about that. This is another plant that she sent me. I'll have to get a picture of when she sent it. It's not the Antherium Tweed. It looks a lot like it, but it isn't. Let me get the tag out and see. It's a Rhaphidophora pinnata, or pinnatum. Let me see. Pinnata. Too many names too close together. Anyway, it's doing really good, and it's loving life on this trellis. And I just keep wrapping it around because it does tend to put out a lot of vine and a few leaves. It's very slow growing, but I really do think it's doing really well. Here's another one that she sent me before September. This is the lipstick plant, and I don't know if I can get, let me tip it. It's hard to do one-handed and hold the camera. There, it's a lipstick black pagoda, and it's loving life. The back of the leaves are gorgeous. They're spotted. Trying to get that in the light. There, look at how pretty they are. And I don't know, it's doing really well. It's put up a new baby there on the side, and I love it. I'm really happy with it. It likes my new grow light setup in here. Those fan lights were a bunk. They didn't last very long, and they replaced them. I ended up getting 10 grow lights from them, and they replaced them, and they didn't work. So I'm back to my LED 14 watt LED. They're 6500K, and the plants really like them. Alrighty, let's see. Here is the cissus vine that she sent, and I know I have pictures of that. And that all came in that September package, and it's doing pretty well. Oh, it's reaching out and trying to grab onto my security screen, so I'll have to get busy and wrap that around. That thing grows like a maniac. All right, let's see. I'm going to have to take you to the living room. Let me grab my list so I can try to remember everything. Okay, let's see. Here is the Ecodonese, and I'm going to get down so you can see it really well. It's kind of unfair to show it as it is right now because it looks really sad, but I just I air layered and chopped 3 sections of the top off, so it was quite a bit bigger. It was, I don't know, probably up to here on the pole, so it was quite a bit bigger. And they're all rooted. They've been in this cup for, I don't know, maybe a week, and that air layering really works well. The plant doesn't seem to get stressed out when you take it from, like when you root them in water and then move them over to soil. The air layering because they have nice roots already before you chop it from the mother plant, they seem to take well. Again, it had some thrips damage, and you can kind of see there the light and the dark. Those damn thrips. I hate them. But here on the vine that I cut, you can see right here there's new growth. And then, let me drag this over a little bit more. I'm running out of room here. Here is the horsehead philodendron that she sent. It's doing really good, but there again, More thrips damage. See it by my finger? That lighter, streaky looking, that's thrips. But the leaves are getting really big. I think I have saved the leaf with the spraying, and I've just been able to roll these carts right into the bathroom also. There's another leaf here. The cats broke off a couple leaves. There's a new leaf coming back there, right here. And I went ahead and potted up some Philodendron Brazil up the pole because it's kind of a gangly plant, and the Brazil just kind of adds to. That was Suzette's idea again too. Here's another big leaf from it. It's really nice. That one's really big, and I think it's not quite the top leaf, so maybe this one will be bigger. And I love this. Well, I love all of them, but this tripartum, I think it was just one leaf. And later she sent me a second cutting, stuck on the plant stand behind me, which is right there. She just sent me this one in our last plant trade, so it hasn't had time to get going. But anyway, the tripartum, she goes up, 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 up. And there's one more back here with a new growth coming in there. And so I would say she's close to 30 inches tall. And her leaves are getting to be pretty nice size. They're not as big as Suzette's, but, you know, it's a baby. And they've been through a lot with those damn thrips and all the manipulation and maneuvering. I'm trying to push this plant stand back so that I can get to this other one. All right, here is another one on that September list, the Florida Beauty Red Stem, I believe it is, and she sent me a second cutting of that too later on. I think that's this one that I've got in my hand right here. And it was an unrooted cutting when I got it, and I chopped it. It was doing pretty good, and I chopped it and rooted it. That was before I was air layering, which I think I'm going to stick with because it seems to work better than the water or the perlite. Some do okay in perlite, but anyway, so the second cutting where I chopped it right here is grown quite a big, I think it grew quite a big stem, and now it's finally putting up a leaf, and it's doing okay. The leaves are small yet because it just hasn't had time to get big, and there again you can see some thrips damage right here by my thumb. Now, this is, and this wasn't from the plant trade video that I'm going to send you, but I'm going to show you anyway because it's doing great. This is the Philodendron, yeah, it sure is, spade leaf. And it's beautiful. It's just beautiful. And interesting enough, it has not had a lot of thrips damage, even though it's been sitting right next to thrip damaged plants. So go figure that one. I can't. And this is next to it is the compost spore tatum, and it's quite tall. It's above this, which is about 30 inches, and it's about maybe 10 inches above it. And I have 3 top nodes that I'm air layering. 1, 2, 3. It hasn't been long enough for me to even check on to see. Again, there's some thrips damage. But it's still doing okay, even with the thrips damage. That one's really bad for thrips, but the leaf is still healthy. Other than the damage, I'm not seeing any thrips on it. I've been checking, boy, I've been burning up my microscope looking at any black speck I find. I'm checking it, and love this plant. It is so pretty. That isn't this is more the shape that the leaf will get as it matures. Here, there's a nice looking leaf that just unfurled. So, all right, let me get back up off the floor. And again, this one isn't in that first video, but this is the micans that she sent, and it grew. I had it on these moss poles, but it kept outgrowing it so fast that I went ahead and put it on one of these the double half hoop, where I could wrap it round and round. And actually, when I'm sitting down and looking through, I see a lot of vines, so I'm going to keep sliding this down so that the leaves stack up kind of against each other. I'm sorry about that backlighting. There, did that help a little bit for a minute? Let me get on the other side to see. Anyway, she's doing really good. I chopped her a couple times, and I have a prop back in the back bathroom. I'm going to get a second pot going as a emergency, just in case something happens to the one or the other. Okay, now let me I have another one, and of course I left my list behind. Just a second, sorry. Oh, and the Peru, Monstera Peru. I don't think I showed that one. It is a beauty. Love this plant. Doing really good. You can see if I do it this way, maybe it won't backlight so bad. That's the first cutting she sent. And then later, she sent a second, I think. Yeah, she sent a second cutting, and it's right here. There's the top leaf. It's got a yellow leaf, but that was on the bottom of the second cutting that she sent me. So has 2 or 3 really nice leaves and then one yellowing, but it's doing really well. And considering the way the post office beat them up, I'm grateful it's doing that well. Okay, now I'm going to walk into my dining room. And here's another one that she sent. And I don't think, it's a cane begonia, but it's a Don Miller. It was labeled Don Miller, and I did some research on it. And Don Miller is actually of Steve's leaves. And it's this, I guess he created this begonia. I don't know how all that works. But anyway, I really like it. It stays small. And if it gets too big, I'm just going to cut it because I like it in my little terrarium tank. And I don't know. I've tried a few different plants in here. I do not do well with ferns. This purple velvet plant is kind of taking over. I just stuck it in there because I needed something to fill a hole where I planted a fern and it didn't make it. So anyway, it's doing pretty good. I like it. Now, let me see what else I've got here on my... Okay, I'm going to shut this down, head to the back bathroom. I don't want to walk you all the way through. Be right back. All right, and here is the Exotica cutting that she sent. I love this plant. It has big leaves. Nice, pretty big leaves. And actually, there's the cuttings from the micans. And here are the cuttings from the Trubii that she sent. And they're doing well. And I'm going to scroll around here real quick. The Hoya Bella had some difficulties. It was rooted when it came, and then I don't know what happened. The roots rot. We were talking about it the other night on the phone, and possibly the way the USPS was treating those packages, because they really looked like they played kick football with them for a while. It might have broke a lot of the roots. Even though they were still attached to the mother stem, they might have actually been broken and just kind of attached by the soil. So I Rerooted it, and it's doing better. I'm looking around to see if there's anything. Oh, there is the Hoya. I think that's the tricolor. I'm not seeing any pink leaves on it, but, you know, and this is the princess that she sent. Beautiful. I love this one. Oh, look at the variegation on that leaf. It's so pretty. And I'm not a big variegation freak. I just think that these have a lovely variegation pattern to them. They're just, it's a pretty plant. And I did see that there is one stem of the princess in with this tricolor, and that's okay. Next time I get it down off the wall, I will probably lift that out and put it in this pot. Okay, I think that's all of it for now. And so that's kind of my update. My yard, oh, my cat. My silly kitty. She's following me around as usual. My yard is toast. I'm not even showing videos of the yard. It's just several weeks of 110-degree temperatures. The yard just went to hell, no matter how much I watered it. And I mean, it was just, I would just practically keep the hose running every single day around the yard. I only have one faucet, and it's kind of tough to get around a half-acre yard, but I have the hoses lined up so that I just have to flip switches and whatnot, and then in the fall I roll it all up and lay them back out in the spring. Anyway, the yard is just, it's just fried, and it happens like this every year when we get those hot temperatures. I do the best I can. It comes back, so no big deal. Anyway, that's about it. I thank you for watching and liking, subscribing. Love it when you comment. And we will see you all later. And I'm sorry I can't combine the pictures. If I knew how to do it, somebody want to send me information on a simple editing program that I could use that does that, I'd be happy to work on it and see what I can do. So anyway, we'll catch you all later. Bye now. Darn it, it's me again. I forgot these two when I was adding in the stills of the when I unboxed them photos. I realized this was in the stills and not in my video. So this is the orchid cacti. Cacti. And there again, it had a really long piece, gorgeous piece hanging down, and it got broken in the thrips episode. I keep seeing these. See that little tiny spot by my thumbnail? That it looks like a thrips, but it could have been, but I've been putting them all under the microscope on tape, and they appear to be oh shoot, bark out of my potting soil. Stuff goes everywhere when you're doing this. And the other one that I missed was the Thanksgiving cactus. The decursiva is getting into it, and it's doing really well. I'm hesitant to say they're hard to kill because I just killed my big old Christmas cactus, so poo. I'm rerooting a bunch of it. Hopefully it'll take. If it doesn't, oh well. I don't know what happened. Could have been the thrip spray. Who knows? Anyway, those two, I'll just tuck those in. Bye now.